we're going to move on because we're talking about Disney a little bit. Now, we've talked about Bob Iger taking over for Disney quite a bit here and taking back charge, taking the reins back from Bob Chapek. Well, now Bob Iger's like, we got to take care of Disney parks a little bit. That's the thing. Like when Bob Chapek was around before, when they were working together, Chapek was in charge of the parks. So you think that this man would know what's going on at the parks. But during COVID, he changed a lot of stuff. And Iger said it's time to go back and make some major changes for the actual pass holders. And these are some of the things right now they're saying are coming up for the season holders and the pass holders when it comes to the actual theme parks. And this is mostly Disneyland itself.
A new ticket deal will be made available for Southern California residents, along with 2 months worth of dates where tickets will be priced at $104. Disneyland Magic key holders or guests with a park hopper ticket can hop between parks beginning at 11 a.m., which is 2 hours earlier than the prior policy, beginning February 4th without limits, a change from Chapek era.
Yeah, and then it goes on to go a little bit further. There's a couple more things that are happening and changing.
Disneyland guests will receive free digital downloads of themselves on attractions or taken by Disney's own photographers in the park. Part of Disney's January 10th anniversary announcements included the date of the return of Happily Ever After and news of temporary fireworks shows at Epcot as the barges are removed.
Yeah, and so these 4 things that are happening, I guess what happened big during COVID, especially in Southern California, was, okay, so I'm going to go to Disneyland. I want to buy a park hopper, right? I want to buy a park hopper, got the whole day plan. We're going to start here, we're move over here. Okay, great. Before you could do that, under Chapek, all of a sudden they said, well, it depends. You're like, what? I want to buy a park hopper there. Well, it depends if you can park hop that day because of numbers. They're like, we can only let so many numbers in each park each day, so it only let so many park hoppers actually happen. So if you planned a whole thing, all of a sudden you can't park hop. Sorry, can't do it. So whatever you're paying for, you're not getting. So they're bringing that back. So now you can just park hop like normal, which is great. The fireworks thing went away a long time. There used to be a barge, I guess, out in the lake right there by Disney. They took that away, so a lot of the fireworks show display went away. Well, they're bringing back the fireworks display. The barge isn't coming back, but they're going to be bringing back this big spectacle again, which a lot of people love to see when they're there, which is great. So these are some big changes. Also, the photo thing. It's like, okay, well, how many times you go to a ride where they take your picture afterwards? Like, that's great. I love to have that memory, but I want to pay like $25. It's price gouging. It's just price gouging. People try to take those pictures on their cell phones all the time. I've been there. I've tried. And they yell at you and chase you off, but that's happened before. When, yeah. They chase you off. They say, don't take pictures. Don't take pictures of that. Buy that picture. That's what they say. Buy that picture. So that's a whole thing. They actually hired people that would like chase people off from taking pictures and yell at you. So, I mean, bringing back the digital thing's great. Of course, only certain context, you have to have a certain pass to get that, but still the fact that's coming back, that makes sense. That should be an easy perk to be involved with your pass as it is. I don't see why that was gone. They're talking about free parking coming back for actual hotels, which is great too. Like, why is there no free parking? I'm paying how much for parking? That's in Florida. So, I mean, these changes are happening, and Bob Iger is like, we got to fix these things. So I've been thinking about this. This is good for people that are thinking about going back to Disney. A lot of people have been like, I'm not going back to Disney anymore because of how much it's been expensive. The day pass itself now is $104 for California residents. Before it was a few $100 for a day, which is insane. It's like
only for 30 days. It's only for 30 days out of 365 days. They're going to price the tickets at $104. I'm betting it's going to be extremely off season and probably when children are in school. So
massive
I really,
blackout times.
Like, stop touting that you're making the park reasonably affordable for 30 days out of 365. I mean, for me, that's not really a big triumph, Disney. Also, I have to say hi to Brooklyn. Hi, Brooklyn. I love you.
Hi, Brooklyn. So the question is really, though, Sabrina, I'm going to go with you first.
Hi, Brooklyn.
I
don't know you.
My niece.
Is this a step in the right direction? That's the question. Are they making some moves that are actually going to help consumers, help people to come back to the park, or do you think these are just minor things that are just kind of great, you're trying something, we're not doing enough?
I mean, I'm sure that that's about Brooklyn. I'm sure that some people will be like, "Oh, this is great, let's go back." You know what I mean? But if you really read between the lines, like it's not that great. They're not really giving that much. Oh my God, my dogs. I'm so sorry. I just muted and yelled at him. So I don't think it's that great. I think they're like, I mean, the picture is fine. Like I would never pay that money for a picture anyway, so that doesn't affect me at all. And I'm sure parents who are bringing 3 children or 2 children and having a family outing at Disney are not going to pay $25 for a picture either. So like I think that's a nice perk, but it's definitely not a reason to go to the park. You know what I mean? And also, like I said, the $104. You're like, oh, and you can get the tickets for $104, but it said for nearly 2 months. So it's actually less than 30 days out of 365 days. So I really think they could do more. Honestly, they are the richest company in the world. Like this is things that families do, like a lot of people can't afford to take and every kid in the world wants to go to Disneyland or Disney World, every single child. And, if you're a middle-class family, even you can't afford what it costs to go there. So I think they could absolutely do more. 100%.
And there's like no substitute for this, really. I mean, you can go to, Knott's Berry Farm if you're out here, but it's really not the same as Disneyland. In Florida, or Universal Studios is still not the same. It's a magical place. It's something that's completely different from everybody else. So there's nothing else like it. There's no cheap substitute. They have this niche that they can just charge you whatever, and they can do whatever they want. And if you want that entertainment and your kids are begging you and begging you and begging you to go, you got to pay it. When I was a kid, I went to Disney World. And my parents took me, we loaded a big van up. We traveled down to Florida, and it was like my mom, my dad, my 2 brothers, my uncle, my grandma. I mean, it was like everybody in this van. We just piled in and went. And I can't even imagine what it cost back then, let alone do that now. I mean, it's insane, but that's the price you pay to let your kids have the most magical experience ever.
I'm sorry. Did you say that you drove in a van from Manistee, Michigan to Orlando, Florida?
Yes, and it broke down along the way.
World.
He did.
Yep, it broke down.
I remember that.
Yeah, my grandma had this big old.
I don't even know what to say to that, honestly.
It was a huge van too. It was this massive van. But I remember it had this little CRT TV that was like this big. I'm like, we have a TV in the van. It was so cool. And we got to Tennessee and it broke down. And then there was the big debate. My dad got so mad. It's still a big joke in the family. My dad gets mad. It's called map ripping mad, where he was just holding the map and he was so pissed. He's like, and he ripped the map in half. And then the rest of the trip, he was like holding it together like this and trying to read it because he didn't have GPS back then.
I didn't realize that's where that came from.
That's where it came from. Yeah. And so, but we ended up renting a car and we ended up going the rest of the way. We rented another van and we went the rest of the way and continued on our adventure. So, I mean, that's what happens when you're in a family and you have kids that are young that want to go to Disneyland, Disney World. It's all part of the experience. Jake,
how long was that trip, Brian?
That trip?
Yeah.
Oh, we were there.
To go to Disneyland.
We did like 4 days there. We did like 4 days, but it was like a week trip because we did.
How long was the drive from Michigan to Orlando?
We drove straight there. It was like 21 hour drive.
Oh my God.
We actually had to stop because the van broke down. We had to stop one night and then we traveled the rest of the way. In college, I actually went to Universal and Disney World again. Not Disney World, but Disneyland, not Disneyland, just Universal. My brain, just Universal, which is right by Disney World. And we drove it in about 20 hours, but I would drive straight there and then we drive straight back. It's just, it's a long drive, but you can make it happen. Jake, you have a small child. Jake, you have a small child. So has Charlie ever brought up Disneyland, Disney World? Does she want to go? Is this something that you think, okay, well, maybe they're going to have some more reasonable prices for my family to take a vacation? Or are you like, I don't want to do this ever?
I've never been to Disney.
You never been?
No.
What?
Nope, never been. Always wanted to go, but there were 4 of us growing up in my family and my parents were it was a hard no. So, growing up for us, it was, we got to go on a family trip like every 4 or 5 years, maybe, is when there was enough saved up to do something like that. And Charlie, I don't think she knows Disneyland exists, and that's okay with me. So,
you wait.
I'm not going to bring it up until she does.
That's a good plan.
Yeah. So, as soon as she's aware of it, then we'll have that discussion. But I'm not opposed to it, but at the same time, I don't know if it's going to change her life for the worst if she does go. Maybe it will. Some people might say it would. But yeah.
Wait, she'll be like, I want to be a princess, Daddy. I want to go work at Disney World and be a princess.
That's fine.
That happened to one of our mutual friends. His wife actually wanted to be a princess, and she was.
Yeah, she did. How long? She did that for a while.
I'm sorry, an
a few
adult?
years. An adult, yeah. One of my buddies, our buddies actually from high school, to not name names, he got married to someone, and when they're dating in high school, and then she said, like, I want to be a princess when I grow up, because they'd always talk about what we're gonna do when we get older, you know. And he's like, you
But
can't
in
be a
high school,
princess.
you want to be a princess when you grow up?
That's
I
what-
don't understand.
That's what she said. That's what she said to him. I want to be a princess, and he laughed it off. And then she became a princess at Disney World. So she was Snow White, if you will. And then she's like, "Ha! I'm a princess for a living."
Charging for those.
That's like a 6-year-old's answer to what do you want to be when you grow up? Is a princess. Like I said that when I was probably 6, maybe even 4. I don't know. But in high school, if someone asks you what you want to be when you grow up and you say princess, I think there are some issues. I'm just saying.
Well, that was the thing. But that's the thing about Disney. Though Disney itself, it is this magical place, like I said, and as Jake knows, as you know, Sabrina, it's like there's nothing else like it. And Jake hasn't been there, but he still knows. Like everyone talks about it, right? And the fact that he's an adult, he's like, I still haven't gone, but you would go, right, Jake, if you had the opportunity?
Maybe.
Or no? No interest?
I don't have any desire to go. No.
Yeah.
No. I don't know. I'm cool with just.
He's a grown man. Like what grown person is like, I can't wait to go to Disneyland. I'm
going to tell you, the Panicos were on here the other day, and we might be, maybe we'll be going with them soon. I'm just saying. There's talks.
Yeah, but that's because there's 3 children involved. It's not because like
I was excited about it. I haven't even been here. There's Disneyland here.
Right.
I have friends that have passes here, and they go to Disneyland all the time.
Right.
Adults?
Yeah, adults. It's always
Stop
like
it. No, you don't. That's insane. This conversation is blowing my mind right now.
I have friends that have invited me multiple times.
That's awesome.
Adults,
I can't.
like adult humans
it's just
that
too
want to go to
expensive.
Disneyland without children.
I would love to go to the Star Wars thing. They have the whole Star Wars land. That'd be really cool to see. They built the Millennium Falcon there. But, you know, I just haven't had a chance to do it yet. Lived in California for 14 years and I've never gone to Disneyland. It's like an hour drive away, you know?
Right.
But I was at Disney World and I'm like, I don't think it's going to live up to Disney World. I just don't think it will. I feel like I'm going to go and be like, not as good as Disney World. But you never know. You never know.
Yeah.
So I am still a kid, GR. Yeah, at heart. You know? But, you know, we'll see. Disney is its own beast. I'm happy they're making some moves. Hopefully they do better things to make it cheaper. Like, it's great to have, they should have a year pass for California residents, the same as like they used to have. And for Universal, the same thing. That's a little bit cheaper because encourage people to come. Don't discourage them, you know. But again, they don't really care. They're the machine. So they make a lot of money off these parks. So I guess they don't really mind. They'll charge whatever they want to charge. So it is what it is. I remember I worked on Melissa and Joey Lawrence actually got married at Disney World, which I thought was hilarious. And his wife loved Disney World so much they got married there. And to get married at Disney World, everybody has to wear white. Everything. There's no black at all. White shoes, white socks, white pants, white everything. White tuxes. Everybody had to wear white. That was like a stipulation.
Like P. Diddy's white party.
If you want to get married at Disney World, just so you know, you got to wear all white.